craziest turn of events I've ever seen in soccer. Possibly I'm doing everything to try and get the ball away from their net, hoping the goalie can get to it, or they can just get it out of that zone. The boy caught the bouncing ball. The boy caught the bouncing ball. The boy caught the bouncing ball. The Tinker Toy is totaled. 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 Where did you get this down? The Tinker Toy is totaled. The Tinker Toy is totaled. The total Tinker Toy.
Tonight on Cardinal Sports Live, the volleyball team gets their first taste of SUNYAC competition.
And the men's and women's soccer teams open SUNYAC play on a high note. It's time to get jiggy with it here on Cardinal Sports Live.
Welcome to Cardinal Sports Live, brought to you by Play It Again Sports. I'm Colleen Brandt.
And I'm Derek Palaki. We thank you for joining us tonight, and it was a good week in the SUNYACS for a couple of our card sports teams, Colleen.
Yep, all the fall ones experienced a little taste of SUNYAC action.
Now we look at the volleyball team. They're coming off that big Cardinal Classic sweep. They won the whole thing at home last week, but it seems like they had a little bit of extra trouble this week.
They did, so let's get right into that. The Plattsburgh volleyball team battled SUNY New Paltz in 5 sets, but it wasn't enough, losing in the last 3, giving the Hawks the win. Cardinals' Kristen Marciato finished with 23 assists Friday night, while Rosie Cummings had a match high of 18 kills. However, it was New Paltz's Morgan Rosler who led the team with 11 kills and 7 blocks, stopping the Cards at the net throughout each match.
The women's volleyball team continued their road trip with a match against the Brockport Golden Eagles. Both teams were put to the ultimate test as this one lasted all 5 matches. The Cardinals took the first set 25-23, but the Golden Eagles answered right back, winning by the same margin, 25-23. The Cards were able to squeak by in the third set, 29-27, and it looked like Brockport would have the upper hand going into the 5th and final set after a convincing 25-16 fourth. Back and forth these teams fought, and the final set would not disappoint. In nearly identical fashion of the last few, Plattsburgh was able to squeak by the Golden Eagles in a 16-14 5th set. Laura Deal led the charge for the Cards with a team-high 23.5 points and 19 kills. The Cardinals moved to 6-8 on the season.
After winning in match 1 against Brockport, the women's volleyball team couldn't hold the momentum, falling to Buffalo State in 3 sets. Once again, the Lady Cards dominated offensively. However, they couldn't stop Jessica Crooks from Buffalo with 11 kills. Laura Dehel matched Crooks, however, with 11 kills, while Rosie Cummings had another match high of 12. Next off, Plattsburgh returns home Tuesday to take on Middlebury, scheduled to begin at 7 p.m.
So we look at the volleyball here, and like we said, they won the Cardinal Classic last week in very impressive form. I think they only lost, one set? One set in the finals. So coming into this week, you felt, and Dina O'Connell, we spoke to her last week, and she was feeling really good, and they're winning those, but this is a little bit of an off week.
You know, I was, not to be harsh, but I was really surprised that they only lost 1 set because, you know, they have such a powerful offensive team that it was amazing how they could do it defensively as well. But this just showed in the matches that we just talked about how, you know, they're back to their old routine where they get a lead, but they can't hold it. That's the problem.
You talk about the fact that they can't hold a lead, and there's a little emphasis to the opposite there with Plattsburgh State, as they won the first one by 2, very close. They lost the second one by the same margin, reversed, by 2. Then they won again by 2.
So they're always on the fence. They're always on the fence.
Always
That's
on the fence, every single time.
It's true, you know, but they have a lot of young power, which also helps a lot too. So.
No, definitely, and it's going to be interesting to see how this volleyball team goes along.
It's true.
But when we come back, we're going to see how the men's and women's soccer teams did in their first conference games of the season.
And we have an all-new Day in the Life segment with men's cross country. So don't you even take a step away from your TV, because action-packed episode of CSL will be right back. Welcome back to CSL. The Lady Cards faced Clarkson University this past Tuesday, and what a match it was. So let's get right into that. They are long-term rivals, and it was a home match Tuesday evening under the lights. Now, starting off in this game, the Cards had full adrenaline pumping from the beginning, as well as freshman Lucy Wedge, who does front flips to bring the ball back into play. She did this several times throughout the match, and it's very intimidating offensively and just keeps the team pumped. Girls were cheering throughout that entire episode. And with the first half underway, Emily Lalone receives the pass from Cami Kieser, who fires it straight down the middle over the goaltender's reach to put the Cards on the board 1-0. Now, the Cards played intense defense to get the ball back, which worked in Diana DeCosho's favor, scoring just only 85 seconds later with the high corner kick, giving Platts the 2-0 lead. This is DeCosho's first season playing with the Cards as a freshman, and she is already tearing up the field. Her teammates know where she's going to be, how she's going to place it, and they're celebrating with that victory. Now, what makes this game different is that Plattsburgh played tremendous defense, something that they've been lacking in the past games this season. But it was also Chrissy Kirkpatrick who made her starting debut in the net. She too defended the net, and every second throughout the game, stopping all the balls that came her way. Plattsburgh continues to show no mercy with the attempt shot right there, but then fights for the ball back, and it's once again DeCosho who scores, coming down the middle and fires the goal. Now, another freshman who also scored a goal was Vicky Scott, who makes a break for it and scores, making it 4-0 Plattsburgh, and that was the final goal of the game. And even with this solid lead and the known victory, the Lady Cards kept their tough defense up, something that is a momentum goer. As you can see here, she doesn't let her have the ball, puts a hand in the face saying, "No, you're not getting it," and that paid off with the home victory.
I'm here now with the women's soccer coach, head coach, Coach Waterbury. After an amazing victory, you guys came off a 3-game losing streak. Now, what was different about this game that you guys could take the victory?
I think we've been working all year long, or at least all season long, on getting better. We played a little bit more direct. We've got some speed up top. We played up over the top of their defense and then put them under pressure and pressed them that way. So we weren't so concerned about playing pretty as we were about maybe getting the ball deep into the end and then starting to play some soccer a little bit.
Now, Diana DeCosho was an essential player, scoring 2 goals within 2 minutes of each other. Are you looking for any other key players as heading into the SUNYACS this weekend?
I mean, we're all the players are key. I mean, to get a shutout tonight is key. You know, great goaltending. Our back four played fantastic, denied them really any quality opportunities. You know, our midfield, Cami Kaiser, did fantastic alone with the first goal. You know, Cassidy had a great shot that the keeper made a nice save on. So, you know, it's going to be a team effort for this whole season. We're not going to rely on one kid. Vicky Scott with her first collegiate goal. So those were all just real positives.
Positives that led to a victory. You guys are now 2-5-1 heading into the SUNYACS this weekend. Are you going to plan differently than non-conference games?
No, we've used our non-conference schedule, which we've played a tough non-conference schedule to prepare ourselves for conference play. So we're hoping by playing a good strength of schedule, we were in every game this year. We were so close. And so we feel like hopefully this is going to be the turning point for us, and we'll just move forward from here on forward.
All right, well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
Thanks for taking my
Have
time.
a good
Hopefully
night.
we can do it more often.
Hopefully, there we go. Victories all around.
Thank you.
For CSL, I'm Colleen Brett. Now back to you.
The Lady Cards traveled to Potsdam after their convincing home victory against Clarkson to kick off the SUNYACS. This one wouldn't end up as convincingly as it did early on, however. Just 3 minutes in, senior Lauren Gonier netted the first and only goal of the game into the far left corner off the keeper's hand. Deanna DeCosho, was credited with the assist. From there, it was smooth sailing for the Cardinals as the Bears were only able to get 2 shots on goal the entire game, compared to the Cardinals' 8. Both teams are now tied on the year at 3-5-1. Plattsburgh continues its 3-game road trip October 4th at 6-3. Oswego. Do we talk about it? Oh, geez.
I was just going to say, like, I'm super impressed. I've been waiting for these ladies to just kick it in and play the defense that we saw early on.
And they've done it. And we see that they can win a game 4-0 against Clarkson. What, they haven't lost against Clarkson since, I think you told me earlier.
1983.
1983.
So that's 16 straight home games that they've just dominated.
Time we can't even think about.
Nope.
And then they win 1-0 against Brockport. You talked about it
Yep.
in the 4-0 game, that they had great defense, good here, good there, as well as the offense. And they're going against Brockport and to win 1-0. The defense just shined again.
It's true, and I feel, they have a lot of young players. They have Diana DeCosho, they have Vicky Scott. Both are freshmen, both, first-timers for the Plattsburgh team. So as well as, they have Ashley Pagano, who had 2 assists in that Clarkson game. And you have, I'm trying to think about other players, Lauren Goye. There's such a wide variety of top players that there's no dependency on 1 or 2.
And you talked about it from a goalie standpoint, too. What was it, Christy Kirkpatrick's
Yep.
first game? A shutout?
Starting the first game.
Starting,
Yep.
excuse me.
Yep.
And it's a shutout?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
She did. It was amazing. And they're a very modest team, though. Like Coach was saying, just because they had a shutout doesn't mean that they're going to, lay loose or anything. They're still going to fire in there and just dominate.
We see the men, they're standing there at 7-1-1. I mean, the women a little worse off record-wise.
Yep.
But those guys have got to be saying, these women are starting to step it up.
It's true. And speaking of men, we are going to get into men's soccer right after this. So CSL, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to CSL. After 81 minutes of scoreless action, Plattsburgh's Matt Hamilton fired a goal into the net to give the Cards the 1-0 lead and the victory against Utica College. Plattsburgh started out slow during Tuesday's match, being outshot by the Pioneers, but in the second half, the Cardinals dominated in the field offensively and defensively. Cardinals goalkeeper Mitchell Jordan kept every shot out of the net, improving 3-0, making his first shutout of the year.
Let's get off the readers and get into some real highlights now. Plattsburgh against Potsdam at home. Let's get right into that one. It was a phenomenal game, as you can see, bright and sunny. Can't beat that. Plattsburgh looking to move to 7-1-1 on the year. They came in 6-1-1 to Potsdam's 6-3, I should say. First try there. That's not going to be a good opportunity there for Potsdam, as Mitchell Jordan with the save. Check out Plattsburgh's defense. Joe Aratari here with the steal. Dishes to Chris Bowden, who nets it in 1-0 in the first. We're going to move into the second now, where it's still going to be 1-0. One of the craziest turn of events I've ever seen in soccer. Potsdam doing everything they can to try and get the ball. Pops it up. Goalie looking for it. Can't get to it. Headed away. Popped up again. Steve Zaharchik, right place, right time. Heads it in for the goal. Assist by Nick Perella as Zaharchik, right place, right time, like we said. Plattsburgh on the offensive again. They're looking for more. But Potsdam was there to keep this one within reach with a big save there. That one could have been tricky, as the goalie looked like he was waiting for it a little bit. Bears now with the ball, trying to move it up the field, but as you're going to see, not much success. The ball eventually going to be stilled by Chris Bowden, comes out of nowhere, and he puts it top shelf for his second of the day. Cardinals win this one, moved 7-1-1 on the season. They win 4-0, and they are so excited, as you can see, to get this big victory. First one in the SUNYACS, and like we said with the women, they won 4-0 in a non-SUNYAC game, but the men come right back with a big win of their own.
I feel like they're very different from the women's team. They have a strong defense. They have that momentum that carried on from last year, winning all those games. They had a very good reputation that they need to uphold. So I feel like they, from the start, have had a good balance offensively and defensively.
And this was come to be expected, as we saw with what Plattsburgh did, what they did last year, as we said. They're getting their first home playoff ever. First home playoff game ever. Now they're 7-1-1. They had that little blip against Skidmore when they came up. A 2-0 loss there we saw last week. But as we can see, the Plattsburgh Cardinals took that game and they forgot about it.
It's true. And they're very wise, though. You know, speaking about the women before, you know, they have a variety of freshmen and seniors, but I feel like with the men, it's all older players. You know, you have Steve Zaharchek, you have Matt Hamilton. Hopefully, they can be the inspiration to those younger players to keep it going. I'm thinking, like, way into the future, but I'm just saying, like, they need to keep the momentum going season after season because they're doing a phenomenal job. Like, you think Plattsburgh Fall Sports, you think soccer, men's soccer, because they do so well.
Definitely, you think soccer because they do so well, and it's just great to see. And they just haven't disappointed. I mean, they've lived up to the name that they gave themselves last year. Sometimes you have a good year, and you come in next year, and you think you're going to be the greatest thing ever, and they've proved that they can be.
It's
and
true.
That's great to see.
Sure. Do you think the coaches talk about it over dinner because they're
of
married?
course. Well, Coach Waterbury and Coach
Waterbury.
Yeah, both great people, and I'm sure they discuss that stuff. It's not like it's government
How cute
secrets
is it? You
to
have
them.
like a little soccer ball in the middle with like candles coming out of it, and they like go over like plays, and you know, oh, I want to do this. And I feel maybe the Mrs. Waterbury gets some advice from the Mr. Waterbury because he knows what he's doing. He knows his stuff.
It's a great family. They're
It's
locals.
true.
I believe they're from Beekman Town.
Yeah.
I know their son too, Ryan Waterbury. Very
look at
small,
you
but
go.
a very good
Does
kid.
he play soccer too?
I'm not sure if he plays soccer. I know he's very built though for a
But
little
anyway,
man.
these both coaches are doing the right thing. You know, they're prospering their teams, and it's
Right, it's looking good for both.
It is. But when we come back, we have an exclusive interview with the head cross-country coach.
Andrew Krug will be here.
It's true. And a brand new Day in the Life segment. So don't go anywhere. CSL will be right back.
We welcome you back to Cardinal Sports Live. Little slip of the tongue on my part going into the last break. We said we had Andrew Krug here. He's not here. Literally, we had an exclusive interview. I was able to interview him in the Plattsburgh gym for our Cardinal Sports sit-down this week. Let's check that out. Here with our sit-down conversation with Andrew Krug, cross-country coach. Great to have you today. Let's get the elephant out of the room here. Look at you. You're young. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. He's only 26, and he's already coach of the cross-country. Let's talk about that for a minute. 26 and coaching cross-country, coaching students who are anywhere from, let's say, 18 to 21 years old. Does that that little age gap, does that do anything? Not saying a detriment, but what is that like?
Well, since I'm getting older every year, and the kids are staying the same age on the team, it's really not too bad. So I've created that gap, and there's even things that I can't relate to them at this point. So that is kind of nice to have.
Now, what's your job on during a match, during a meet? Like, what are you doing on the sidelines? Are you screaming to your guys or girls the whole time, or what? Talk about the coaching style.
Yeah, not everybody understands track and field and cross country, and that's all right. But the best thing that we can do is support them while they're running, and I usually get pretty loud yelling for them and try to see them as much as possible during the race. But our other coach, Coach Douglas, he really gets it, and he yells at the top of his lungs. So it is a little bit different. but there's still some of those same things because I was a baseball, basketball, and I played some soccer when I was little, so I know what it's like in those other sports, and we are a little bit different.
Are there two different coaching strategies, two different feels, like ways you go about it between the men's and the women's teams? Are there two different strategies?
Not really. I think that's the nice part about our sport is we don't really have to change much. I think it's a matter of still being professional, even though I am young, but trying to stay professional in how I handle things with them, so they don't think I am that friend figure, that I am their coach, and that I do want us to work hard day in, day out. And there'll be decisions made that they may not necessarily like, but I have to do as a coach.
What's your dream job?
Dream job. Well, right now I like where I am. I like Division III. I don't know if I want to do Division II or Division I, but I'm a big North Carolina Tar Heel fan. So if there was the opportunity to take the track and field coach at North Carolina and lead the Tar Heels, that would be pretty sweet.
Tell me a funny story from this year. Something fun had to happen. A little levity.
I guess we did, during preseason, we did an egg drop.
Okay.
And I was building up. I didn't tell the kids what we were doing. And I think it surprised them a little bit. But we just did a cool thing. They all built different contraptions. They were broken into teams. And that was just something not running related. And it just brought them together a little bit closer.
So you're for switching it up every now and again, keeping everything fresh, and just not always to the plan, changing it up to give the guys a break every now and again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You feel that helps?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's even as simple as not doing our workouts in the same spots. And there's a couple locations around town that we like to use.
Okay. If Andrew Krug had one fault, what would it be?
One fault, I mean, right now, just in my coaching, I don't have that college cross-country experience. And I knew that going into it, but I ran in high school. I had a great coach in high school that taught me a whole bunch of things about running. So while I don't, I didn't put in the same mileage that they did, or that they do right now for cross-country and then indoor and outdoor track, I was still an athlete, a college athlete. I was working out in the fitness center at 7 a.m. I still had 2 o'clock practice. So I guess just the college cross-country running experience.
Andrew Krug sitting down with us for our Cardinal Sports Conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very interesting man. He's young. He's been in their positions. I feel like he would just be a great
Tall.
coach.
That's all I got to say.
Well, he was sitting, so I don't really know.
6'6", the man is tall. I had to look up like that. It was very weird. Nice guy, though.
Yeah, despite his height, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
They're great. So coming up next, we have the Day in the Life segment with a cross-country player, or runner, I should say, Jason Flatch. So we'll get that to you coming up right now.
Hello, I'm Chelsea Helms reporting for Cardinal Sports Live, and today I'm here with Jason Flack, a sophomore of the men's cross-country team.
Hi, everyone.
Now, Jason, how long have you been running in cross-country for?
I started my junior year. I played soccer all through high school, and then I stopped my sophomore year and started running junior year.
That's awesome.
Coach gives us a summer plan, and like month by month, day by day, and we do whatever the workouts are. Normally it's on our own, unfortunately, but sometimes I can run with friends at home, so that helps.
Well, that's pretty cool. I guess it keeps you staying on track all year, and that seems pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not easy as far as the workload. However, it's pretty cool that he has you on a set schedule. What do you do outside of school other than cross country and other work, obviously?
I'm in the slacklining club, so I do that quite a bit.
Oh, that's cool. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
I guess it's the closest thing to tightrope walking, and it's ratcheted between 2 trees, and it's a 2 or 1 inch webbing, and you walk across, and it's pretty hard to do. But
Well, that's pretty awesome. You can manage school, slacking, and cross country. That seems like it'd be a lot of work to do. Now, Jason, what would you say a typical diet consists for someone who runs cross country?
try to stay pretty healthy, protein and carbs and everything. And before a race, I like to carbo load like pasta and chicken the night before a race.
Now, do you feel like this diet helps you throughout your lifestyle as well as in cross country? Like it's good to stay healthy, basically, is what I'm asking?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice warm glass of shut the hell up.
I just wish that Thanks for watching. You just saw a day in the life of Jason Flack, and I'm Chelsea Helms, and that's it for Cardinal Sports Live.
We thank Chelsea Helms for her work on another phenomenal day in the life of an athlete. Just phenomenal stuff. I love to see it.
I'm loving that segment. It's so interesting. But for Derek Palaki, I'm Colleen Brandt. Have a good night.
This looks familiar.